have 4 weeks for this build.
We have 4 weeks for this build, and 3 of them has been talking.
We have 4 weeks and $40,000. Chad's taking on a little much. I know that he can do it, and he knows that he can do it. It's just, are we going to get it done in the time frame and in the budget?
All right, let's go to work.
You can see through the doors and everything.
Yeah.
Going from one horse
Yeah, you can
to
see through the
another.
door and everything.
That's one
Wow.
of the finer examples of a Pinto I've seen.
I'm telling you right now, she's a gem.
So, what was the name of the pond you got this out of, anyway?
Lake Pinto.
Lake Pinto.
Lake Pinto.
Yeah. Our little Pinto is what I could only describe as being a total basket case.
Holy.
It's not even yard art, it's yard junk.
Quite a gem. 4 weeks, Spice, 4 weeks.
The Pinto's, in my opinion, the worst starting point that we've started with. It's rusted everywhere. There's going to be a lot of, you know, cutting out and fabricating, which takes time. It's a big build.
If the old Pintos are rocking.
Don't come knocking.
All right, I'm thinking let's tear her apart, I guess. I would like to turn this Pinto into a futuristic glass car, you know, just something that no one's ever seen before. How's the floor really look in this thing? Jeez. One Pinto tailgate. As we get flying into it, there's just basic rot, you know what I mean? It's just a basic discarded car that probably would never be fixed unless we found it. And thanks a lot, Jack. Oh boy, look at that now, would you? Wow, we got a big one here, boys. Generally, the rust dictates what we're gonna do to the car anyways. And I'm gonna let that continue on this car. It's cool. Gotta cut the floor out. Ooh, I can't wait. Don't cut any more of the frame, just open it up so you can see it, that's all. All the floors you and your mother cut out, she never taught you that?
No. When I first started this, I've never picked up a tool. Like, I mean, I've done stupid stuff with friends and stuff, maybe drills and stuff, but I've never picked up a grinder, never picked up not a thing. I didn't know one thing where the U-joint to the ball joint went. I didn't know a thing. I just feel like my skills are better. Like, I don't know, I just feel better behind a tool.
Wow. Wow. What are we doing? Oh, wow. What did we get ourselves into this time, Alex? Yeah, there's a lot of work to do here. Like, see, I see in the inner fenders that the inner fenders are all gone. Like, it's terrible. Like, it's gone. Like, it is gone. When there's so much rust like that, it's just hard to take it all in. She's a rough one. We've cut everything out of it. That's what's the problem. The more we cut out, the more we got to fabricate, and we'll fabricate as we go. The challenge is going to be, am I going to be able to fabricate fast enough to keep up?
There is consequences to starting with something so crappy. It seems like we're definitely going to push the boundary of the time frame.
You're cutting structure out of the car, so that means when you go back into it that you have to put the structure back in. This car was a unibody, but we have cut so much out of it, it does not have any integrity anymore. We're gonna have to make our own chassis to give it some stability. As we put the frame from the front to the back, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna run a piece of 2-inch square tubing across the back and bring the frame to it and connect it to that. Really make it strong. There, she's on her own. She's on her own chassis. That back end on there, how do I want that back end to look, you know? I'm having a hard time figuring out how I'm gonna build the back of the car to get it connected to the roof. I just don't know. Should have ran it all the way down, maybe, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not sure if the car will, you know, hold everything. I couldn't just weld it to the body panel of the old car. Well, that thin tin, it would fall off, you know? Like, that's toasty. You would never really weld anything to that, really. Or that's got body fill in it. I'm just brain farting how to get this piece on there, right? For me to tell you exactly, I know what I'm doing. Every car that we do that comes in here, like, Not true. I have to figure it out and make a plan. So that takes time, and that's where it's at.
Chad's visions are so big that we never really know what exactly it's going to take to achieve it. And right now we're falling behind on this. This is our first season as Hilt Auto Co. So, you know, we're not looking to miss our deadlines.
I'm just using my brain to figure out which way is the best way to build the ass of the car. It's kind of making me think that I may as well make the whole back of the car and then weld it to the chassis that we have made inside and disregard this. That's an awful big back, isn't it?
Baby got back.
Yeah, this is going to be fun. Beautiful. Love it. I'm coming with the Holy Grail. Oh, love it. Took me a little bit how to figure out how I wanted to do the back. Oh, I got a fire. Jeez, Dad. False alarm.
You're mad, man.
False alarm, false alarm. Stay tuned. It'll be cool. Pretty square, you ask me. That's good. Now I'm gonna bring the roof back to meet the rear of the car. I have to draw a line on it, the shape that I want to cut out of it. I have to get up there, the plasma cutter. I'm using 16 gauge. They don't use 16 gauge in cars anymore, I don't think. 16 gauge is thicker metal than we usually use. We usually use 18. This thing's looking like she's gonna take off. Something like that, eh? Weld that in there. It all can be welded to that. See that nice curve there? That's a good curve. That's a good curve.
So Dad took off, he's got the roof clamped in. So I'm gonna weld it up and surprise him. Huge build, so hopefully it'll help us get ahead.
What a mess. Colton wanted to come up here and get a bunch of work done in a short amount of time to impress me. He warped the roof in the back. I did not ask Colton to weld up the roof, and now it's gonna cost me time. Piss me off. He left the bottom, didn't weld any of that. He welded the two top rows solid completely and never touched any of that, never touched any of the bottom. Well, that makes me ugly because it's supposed to be spread around. Yeah, I know he's trying to help, but this set is backwards and we haven't got time to backstep. I've got a little business here with Colton today, coming up here and welding on the car. Done more damage here than you can imagine. Weld two big streams across the back of the roof and warped that after I worked hard not to make it like that. That's amateur. When I sometimes get caught up in it, I get too ugly. I'm trying to control myself a little bit. I mean, I'm just gonna have to express it a different way somehow other than getting all, you know, lit up. I'm telling you something right now, my son. You're not to touch the car anymore. You've lost your privileges. You can throw in the wood. The wood needs to be chucked over from the basement to the other side, and the wood from there has to be chucked in over the other side. See you later. This is a huge build. I need confidence in all my employees. Colton especially, I need to have confidence in him. I have to.